Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first live stream on this stream. Live stream? I've already messed up my words. I'm a little nervous. I thought we would do something different for once and just talk. I record my videos like months and months in advance. Currently, what I'm doing now is the Ramayana, which won't go up till February 2024. So, by doing this, a lot of my videos I try to keep valid and not too particular to current events, but it means there's a lot of things I just like to talk about, but I can't. So I thought let's do a live stream and share and talk and just see if this is of interest to you people. And if so, we'll keep doing it probably on a Saturday or Sunday. If not every week, then every few weeks. And if not, we'll just pretend it didn't happen and we'll go back to reading the scriptures. Does that make sense? It's the day before Christmas here in Portland, Maine. My girlfriend's at work. Tomorrow we're off to her relatives in Kennebunk for the day. You may know Kennebunkport. It's the home of former President George Bush, just across the river. I have the heater on behind me, so if you hear that noise, that's what it is. And actually, I have Baby Yoda right next to me joining us today. So I wanted to talk today about a few things. One is anger. Anger, I don't know why. I should say, why is a good question. Anger for me is something that is a wall to so many things. A wall to creativity sometimes, a wall to personal growth sometimes, a wall to spirituality quite often, actually. I say sometimes because sometimes it actually may drive you to be creative. It may drive you to do something. It may drive you to go in a direction that you've never gone before. So it becomes a motivator. But quite often for people, it's not. Anger is something that just stops you before you ever get to that point. It just causes you to freeze and to stew and to want to create revenge versus something productive. And I see so many people in this world who are angry. And here I am recording this 12/24/2022. I don't need to tell any of you what anger is in this world from all sorts of people for all sorts of things. And it makes me sad because we read these scriptures here on this channel and we see that anger is one of these emotions, then unless you grab it and control it and focus it, just will tear you down, will absolutely destroy you and destroy others. But yet, so many of us, I would think most people, are actually not out to destroy people. There are some truly evil people in this world, no doubt. But I think a lot of us really just want to have happy lives. We'd like to do some good in this world. We'd like to contribute. We'd like to have a legacy. I don't know. We want our kids to grow up and be happy. We want to do good, but yet we're so full of anger that it doesn't happen. And I think we know this. I think we all know that anger doesn't get you anywhere. It really doesn't get you anywhere. And so it should be obvious that that is one of the things stopping our personal growth and our contributions to the world. But yet it seems to be something so many of us cannot get over. They just can't break through. And it really boggles my mind. It really does. Thinking about how seems like the simplest solution. Work with your anger, learn to be constructive with your anger, but yet it is something that it seems to be elusive to most of us. It seems to be something really hard for most of us to do. Does that make sense to you? Am I saying something that is insane or crazy? I'm going to give you an example. Read something here. So I am a fan of the trans activist Buck Angel. I think he is awesome. We've talked on email. Every week I join him and about 100 others in a live stream chat like this where we talk about trans issues and trans things of all sorts of shapes. And I love it and I learn so much about the world. I am not trans, but I think this is a huge, huge issue. And I'll put a link to him down below because he is just really, really awesome. And I think the trans issue is actually a really big issue. I don't want to get into it right now, though, because we'll be here for a while. But in a recent interview, he talked with Fred Sargent, who was at the Stonewall riots in New York, whatever year that was, and then also formed the first gay pride parade in New York City. He's like 76, 77 now, and he was recently attacked by trans activists because he said something they didn't like. Now, there's so many ways to talk about this issue, and you may not like gay people. You may not like trans people. I'm fine with that. You may not like lesbians. You may think it's against God's will. I'm fine with that too. That's your belief system. You have a right to believe. I believe in freedom of speech and freedom of thought, so believe that. What I don't get is when you take that hatred or anger for someone or whatever it is, or maybe you agree with him, or maybe you disagree with him, or maybe you think he's doing something wrong, whatever it is, and you attack him for it. And he was physically attacked and put in the hospital. 77-year-old man, beat up, has stuff stolen, and was demolished on so many levels. And he's like, this is not the community I know. And I put a comment up on Buck's channel that I wanted to read right now. And this is where this stream kind of is coming out of. I wrote, so many people are so angry. In this video, it's those who attacked him, that it's mind-numbing to me. What is wrong with these folks? Are they all brain dead? As I've read folks whose brains never get developed and do not continue to learn and grow tend to be far more emotional and not think about the repercussions of what they are doing, like others who are always developing their brains. You cannot tell me, you cannot convince me, and yes, I'll say I'm closed-minded on this issue, that attacking this gay icon, this activist, this old man, the same age of my father, is making the world a better place and helping trans people and saving trans lives. Nobody can show me, I do not believe it, how landing Fred in the hospital has made the world a better place. Anger rarely makes the world better. Usually anger is successful when it is turned into something not angry, like Gandhi tried to do. But there are few Gandhis and a lot of little angry dictators. And as I was reading this, I realized just how hot these words are, but I really feel them. Anger tears things down. Anger doesn't build up. And maybe you're angry at Fred, but is putting him in the hospital really making a difference? That's the question I ask. Yes, you're angry. I got that. I get angry at things too. We all do. But is the way you're showing that anger making a difference? How is the world a better place because Fred got beat up and now has a huge hospital bill? How is it better? See, I don't see it. This applies to anyone. I actually ask this question all the time. I ask it to, I see activists in the news. I watch the news every day. Some of them are conservative. I'm like, how is talking about the being whatever and doing whatever really making the world a better place? You're just making others angry like you're angry. And that's just creating a hell on earth. Or I see other activists and, how is burning this building down helping? Is it really? And I was reading just this week on Tulsi Gabbard and her guru, Chris Butler, and the things she's done in India with Modi and the RSS. And I got what the RSS is about. I understand it actually on some level makes sense to me. I can see it logically what they're about, but there's a lot of anger in that organization and they are hurting people. That's a fact. Is that really making India better? And is that making Hinduism better? Are you drawing people to Hinduism by hurting Muslims? My comment is, my thought is, I understand you have anger. I understand we all have anger. But is there some way we could all take that anger and transform it into something better? I don't know. Um, Gosh, instead of trying to kill a trans activist or kill a Muslim or kill a conservative or kill a woke progressive or kill a Tory or whoever you are, wherever you are, can we work with them somehow? Can we do something with them that will help us maybe help them? And I'm not talking about re-education. We're gonna teach these people how to think better. No, that's not it, because that's still just forcing your way on someone else. But is there a way we can work together? Yes, it requires compromise. But I think if you read the Vedas, compromises is in there. Compromise is necessary. And how many times have we read about people in the Srimad Bhagavatam? And as I posted this up, book 2 just got posted. And the next video that goes up, book 3 will start. I You see it in there. I've read it about compromise. Compromise is godly. Anger is good only to a point. Anger can get out of control. And it's sad to me because I feel like everybody knows this. Anger, we all deal with it. We all know about it. But yet somehow we live in this state of anger, and we seem to think being angry is really helping us and making us better and making the world better. But I ask, is it? And is there another approach? So there are some Christians in town. I'm sure they're good people. I only know like 1 or 2 of them. But they protest at least twice a week. Actually, I think almost every morning, just about, if the weather's bad, at the Planned Parenthood near my office. Now, I'm not going to go into the history of Planned Parenthood, and if you're not in America, maybe you do or do not know about them. But basically, Planned Parenthood does abortions. And the Christians, a lot of them, not all, don't like abortions. They hate abortions. It might be one of their big issues. And it seems like around here in this very, very liberal city, that's just an issue the Christians just are gravitating to. They talk about that all the time around here, and the few that I know on Facebook post about it all the time. But they're out there every day. And I have no problems with protests. Protests are good. If you have the freedom to protest, please do express your opinion. I doubt if it's working, though. But these Christians, I just don't know about them, because they're full of anger at so many things. They really are. And I spent 2-3 years in the church. I saw it firsthand. They're angry at people who have abortions. They're angry at gays. They're angry at this. They're probably angry at themselves. Probably jealous or something. I don't know. I just boggles my mind. But this isn't a Christian channel, so I don't want to get into that. But with their anger comes a mental disconnect, which is the other thing I wanted to talk about today. They protest at the Planned Parenthood. And if you walk by, it's this big building, and there's tape outside where they can't enter into that. So it's like, I don't know, 20 feet of tape that's been put on the sidewalk to create a box. So they won't be at the front door. So if you're a young woman who's there for an abortion, you can go to the front door and no one's going to molest you, verbally or, physically molest you. They're going to be at least 20 feet away. I have heard from many women that they have gone there, not necessarily for an abortion, just for anything that Planned Parenthood does. I don't know what they do. I've never been there. But the women say that they just don't go there because, yes, they have that 20-foot box, but it's not enough. They're intimidated. They have to walk down the sidewalk to get to that box. There's folks there reading their Bible, chanting, and it's just intimidating. So what have these girls said? They go elsewhere. They go to the big hospital. They go to another state. They go to a hospital that's up on the coast. They go someplace else to do what they need to do. So this is the social disconnect that I see, or the reality disconnect, or whatever you want to call it. These Christians are so full of anger that they're protesting abortions, and they have their signs and they read their Bible verses and everything. But are they actually achieving anything? Not really. I don't believe they are. Now, I'm on Facebook with a couple of them, and I follow some of their stuff. Along with protesting abortions, they're also protesting big pharma. They hate the big medical world. They hate all this stuff that's happening. This big money making, whatever. And so they don't want to go to the doctor if they don't have to. They don't want to support the medical establishment. That's fine. That's your belief. But they're standing at the door of this abortion center protesting. And yet, from the women I've talked to, all these Christians are doing is just sending these women to the huge hospital that has a helicopter landing pad and has multiple buildings and is taking over the whole neighborhood. They just send them there. They just are literally putting money into the pocket of the medical establishment. So it's this weird disconnect. I'm against abortions. I'm going to stop abortions. And by doing that, I'm going to feed the medical establishment that I'm also very much against. Wait a minute. You're literally helping the thing you're protesting on Facebook, but it's such a disconnect to me. I'm like, do you understand what you're doing? You are so caught in your anger, you don't see the logic of how you're failing on some level, your own beliefs. You're helping millionaires be created. You're helping this hospital expand by all the people there. You're not stopping abortions. It just boggles my mind sometimes. But they spend hours outside this abortion clinic, outside this Planned Parenthood. Every morning I go to work and I see them out there. I don't know how long they're out there for because I can't see once I get to my building, but let's give them an hour or two. And I know during the summers, they'll do big on protests in the square. They're all out there until like noon or 1 o'clock making noise, and there'll be counter protests. That's hours and hours and hours. Let's say 6 hours a week minimum, they're out there protesting, basically feeding money to big pharma due to their anger. What could be done with that 6 hours that could be helpful? Let me think about that. What could be done that actually could make a difference and could help their belief system? Well, instead of sending money to big pharma, maybe they could be putting money, I don't know, they could be helping the homeless community, which is really huge in this town. The amount of money you're spending on your big boards with photos of fetuses, what about putting that into the food bank? Or you could start your own group, your own charity. It's not that hard to do. And put money into something that actually helps those who are living, not those who have yet to even be born. Why not do that? Or organizations to help single mothers or abused women. Oh my gosh, the abused women would probably love your help so much. 6 hours? What could you do with that? That actually would probably make a difference versus just putting money into the cause that you also don't support. Am I off on this? Is this just me being bonkers? Is this just me not quite getting it? It just seems like there's a disconnect here. Maybe I'm completely off. You can put down below if you think I am bonkers on this first live stream and I've come off like a rocket that's going down to the ocean versus into the sky. But it just seems like we let one emotion take over the other, and we could be doing so much better if we didn't live with our anger, but said, how can we take this anger and focus it into something that is actually positive and making great changes? And yes, it may be hard because we may have to work with the people we hate, but is that always a bad thing? Again, there are some people out there who we may not absolutely want to work with, and I'm just looking at the big picture. I don't know, but it was on my mind this week, and this interview with Fred Sargent on Buck Angel's thing, it got me upset to see this because I want the world to be a better place. That's why I do this channel. I believe the scriptures we read are beautiful and they're wonderful, and I want people to read them and go, wow, why have I never read this stuff? This is great. Why have I not got these lessons after 2,000 years? Well, we're living in the Kali Yuga. God predicted it would be like this. But I don't want God to die. I don't want this bit to die, this bit of hope. And hope trumps anger. I think it trumps anger. Anyways, that's my thought. Hopefully you got the gist of it. So, I know that probably wasn't strictly Hindu, maybe a little off topic, but that's one reason why I wanted to stream, was just be able to go off on things I see and stuff I'm dealing with, and just the bigger picture. Because I'm not a universalist. We're all religions are the same, but I do. If we all believe in God, let's come together and talk a little bit. So if you like this, let me know. If you don't, we'll forget it ever happened. I do want to say a few things about life. Here it is as we close out 2022. Give me 1 second, have a cup of coffee. So I wish you the very best, sincerely. And I want you, whoever you are, to achieve your dreams and to do things. And I love hearing stories of people who are doing that. It makes me so very happy. I love hearing about that, because I really believe the world wants us to fail. It wants us to be zombies. It doesn't want us to develop our brains, as I read in the post to Buck Angel. It wants us to be dumb and emotional and angry and hurting. Doesn't want us to live. This world was created by Shiva. Shiva wants us to live. Vishnu wants us to live. Krishna wants us to live. We have the god Lakshmi that we can pray to for prosperity. That tells you something. They want us to have prosperity. So let's have it. A year ago, I had 3 ambitions, New Year's resolutions, you could say. One was to run a marathon. One was to read the old scriptures of Hinduism. And 3 was to, here I'm counting and I still messed up. 3 was to write fiction. So a year later, I have run 4 races. First of all, I've never ran before, never been athletic. I was doing this, so I feel like religion. Sports for me was like, go away, the cross to Dracula. But I got into it, and I've been running, and I ran a 5-miler, a 5K, a full marathon of 4 hours, 17 minutes and 23 seconds, and then a half marathon at 2 hours and 14 minutes just a few weeks ago. I'm resting right now. I had some muscle issues, but I'm going to start my training up in about a month to do a 25K. And I plan to do a full marathon also next year, and I love it. And it's one of the most amazing things. I feel better. I'm happier. I'm more creative. It's just awesome. Being physical is great. And I'm actually still just as productive as I ever was sitting on the computer. Actually more productive now, because I lose an hour of my day running, so I really have to be productive. So that goal was achieved, and I didn't believe I could do it. If you told me I could run a marathon, I really didn't think it would be possible. Like, I'm not athletic. I'm going to have a heart attack, but I did it. The second goal was to read the scriptures. You have seen it right here. I am doing it, and I have a year's worth of stuff that's already been recorded and edited that's going out that I hope you'll really enjoy, and readings that have been like mind-blowing. I did it after so long. I think it was like a decade I've been sitting here wanting to read these scriptures, and I don't know why I didn't. I didn't have time, I didn't whatever, and I did it. And I found time, and I don't read them every day. I make videos when I can, but it's been such an amazing thing. The last thing I said was I want to write fiction. I write nonfiction. I always want to be a novelist since I was like first writing at age 11, and it never happened. I ended up writing nonfiction. Nonfiction sold, made me money. So I kept going and it's draining though, and it's not what I wanted. So this year I decided I'm going to write fiction, and I will be debuting my first in a series of many fiction things in about a month from now. It's actually going to be a mystery short story series. It's the first thing I'm sharing. short stories, mysteries revolving around music, which is something I love, and trying to make them really real and interesting. So you can look at my website for that. But it's so exciting to make this dream happen. And those were my New Year's resolutions. And I thought they were all really hard. I couldn't run. I don't have time to read. And doing those things, when am I going to have time to write? But it's really interesting because I just said, I just want to do this. God, this is what I want. And yeah, I go to work. I have a girlfriend. We almost bought a house. I have family outside of this, other things I do. Somehow it all happened. Heat just came on, so sorry about that if the volume changes or whatever. There's snow on the ground out here. But somehow all these things I wanted to do just happened. I always found time for them. And I've never stressed out about it. I've never been like, oh, I feel like I'm losing out on stuff. I really think that I did what I wanted to do. I kept focused on my goal, and God came and said, hey, you're doing good things. And I'm giving out to the world in some way. And others are inspired by my running, maybe. And hopefully folks are enjoying this channel, and I hope they'll enjoy my fiction. So it's really interesting. I achieved my goals, and it makes me feel so good. I want you to achieve your goals. If you have things that you want to do, here it is, 2023. What a year. I was born in 1977. So if you talked about 2023, I thought we were going to have flying cars by now. I want you to achieve your goals. And I know they may seem hard, but if you focus on them and go, this is what I want, and I'm being very realistic, like I'm going to put out a short story. I'm not saying I'm going to be the next Stephen King. And even though I have the next few stories written, hey, they may not sell very well, and I'm okay with that. It's for me. I'm doing this one for me. Reading the scriptures, same thing. I'm doing this for me. This is an honor to God. I read these for Lord Vishnu. If people like you are watching this, it makes me feel so good. But it's just for me. Running, obviously, is just for me. No one else is going to enjoy the physical kickback that I get. But somehow I found all these things, though, are blossoming and people are enjoying them and they're going out there. And I think God's meeting me halfway. So if you have things you want to do, please stick with them, do them, focus on them, make them realistic, and pray to God. And I know there's a lot of really bad things happening in this world, really bad things. And there are some people in really bad places. I'm thinking of people in the sex industry, and immigrants that are coming into America working, and the women under the Taliban. Trust me, to speak these words about you can do anything, I know makes me sound like, oh, you're so entitled and whatever. But I truly believe that God is watching all of us. I saw a woman the other day quoted, she's under the Taliban, she can't go to college, but she's like, maybe I can find something online. I believe there's always a way, and I believe God is watching out for you, but you have to meet God a little bit. You have to start the work. You have to do what you can do, and God will find you. And yes, that may sound very Western. I'm not middle class, but it may sound very whatever, arrogant. But I really, really believe that God is with you. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I'm actually going to draw this now to a close. Hopefully you have enjoyed me riffing off the cuff, unedited. I do this in my normal videos, and I just chop them right down. And I never get a chance to talk about current events. And look, I'm even unshaven and everything here. I got to get cleaned up so I can be ready to go south with my fiance. But I just wanted to talk and share. And if you like this, let me know down below. I read every comment. If you did not like this, let me know that too, and I won't waste my time doing things you people don't want to see. If you would like to chime in, this went up, I think it was about 10 o'clock here in Portland, Maine, Saturday morning. It's about the time I'd probably be doing this in the future. If this is something you like, and it's enjoyable, we'll do more of it, and I'll actually set a time if you want to join in and ask questions on just things, anything religious based at all. We can just share ideas and come together. So yeah, let me know. Please do. And please continue to follow my channel and share it and comment and like and do all that silly stuff and support me or whatever. I say this in all the videos. You should know it by now. And I'm going to end with the most important words of the day. Merry Christmas if you celebrate it. Happy Hanukkah if you celebrate it. Happy Kwanzaa, whatever. And also, thank you sincerely. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you for joining me.